Alrighty, hello. Let me test the sound here. Make sure that all is well. Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, y'all can hear. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. The sound is on. Y'all know last time it was a mess, and I was just talking and had no idea that you guys can hear. So, welcome in. Welcome in. When y'all come in, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Good evening. So, I was thinking that this was going to be the last live for this book. It is not. Y'all, I think I keep underestimating like the time in which it takes me to take notes and the time frame of the book. So like I'm listening on Audible. Just because it says 2 hours left, don't mean it's literally 2 hours for me because I gotta pause and take notes. So I have about 2 hours remaining of this book. So we're gonna need another live, maybe two. Whatever. Regardless, I hope y'all are down for the ride. If you're here, make sure, and you're watching the replay, make sure you comment down below. I love the replay game. Can't wait to see y'all in the comments section. All right. I want to remind you all that everything I am saying is alleged. This is Reshona's story, not mine. I am reporting on what she has written in her story. I am not saying that these things are factual. I'm saying I am reporting on her experience, the experience she had according to her, Reshona Landfair. In case y'all don't know who Reshona Landfair is, she is pictured on the screen in the middle. We know her as the young, okay, the teen, the girl, because I want to stop calling her a young woman. She a young woman today. But when many people got to know her, she was not a young woman. She was a girl who was on a tape with R. Kelly, who is also pictured here, and some explicit things were done to her. So that is who she is. That is her book. That is by her side. It's called Who's Watching Shorty. The subtitle is Reclaiming Myself from the Shame of R. Kelly's Abuse. So let's get into it. I forgot to tell you guys also in the last live that R. Kelly had manipulated this girl out of being in her group. So that was her dream. He manipulated her right out of her dream. And it is amazing because she doesn't seem to be the only girl that he has done this to. Like they come to him desiring to be stars and they leave from him being more in obscurity than they were before they met the man. And it is just insane. But you know, the Bible says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And you know what? I watched an interview with Joy Reid, and she mentioned something that I didn't even think about. Joy Reid says, remember that all of this is taking place at the same time of Epstein Island, the same time of what Diddy was on trial for. All this stuff is taking place at the same time. I want y'all to remember that. Okay? So this is not a situation where it's a war on black men. This is a situation where men in power are abusing their power. And their victims are young girls and guys. Don't forget the guys. So let's keep going. Okay, according to the book, months before the trial, Reshona moved into the studio, kind of, sort of. So at this point, R. Kelly's team knows her. She also has aliases that she uses as well when she like orders food and things of that nature. And I was thinking, oh, well, she's got a few privileges because the other girls were allegedly asking if they could eat. But we find out that that ain't true. So as we kept reading, that, she had to ask for permission for everything, just like the other ladies who were in Surviving R. Kelly, who have done their own independent interviews, so forth and so on. Reshona said she had to ask to use the restroom. And remember, last week I told y'all Drea had to ask, his wife, grown woman, had to ask to use the restroom. Reshona said she would pee in a cup rather than leave the room or put on a wig and such to run in and out of the bathroom because they were hiding in plain sight, pretending like she wasn't that girl on the tape. Because y'all know she's in the studio. So other acts are coming to the studio. And I wonder if people who were working with him in the early 2000s, did y'all see Reshona? Did y'all realize who Reshona was? Um, for some people, she said they just knew her as his goddaughter, his and Drea's goddaughter. For others, they knew exactly who she was. For others, it was like, oh, she kind of looked like Shorty. And it's like, so y'all telling me just because she slapped on a wig, y'all ain't remember that this was Reshona? Girl. All right. She says that Drea was always a careful and concerned godmother. She took that role seriously. I would love to talk to Drea, Andrea Kelly, about this book if she has read it and what she thinks and feels. Um, I would love to talk to her about it because, my God, the lady went through a lot. And I know she wrote her own book, she has her own story, but I would really love to talk to her about specifically Reshona. She says that Reshona says that her feelings towards Drea became that of jealousy. Reshona got jealous of any woman that was in his orbit, and Robert made it that way. He wanted her. He trained her, sorry to say it like that, to be that way. She says she believes that Drea didn't have the bandwidth because of her own abuse to deal with what she expected or at least knew of her abuse. And I'm like, whoa, 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 that was a tall statement. And I'm pausing here to ask those who are watching and those who will be watching the replay. Do y'all think that Drea knew anything? I do not. I think the last person, she knew he was cheating. She knew he had women. I think the last person she suspected him being with was Reshona. But I would love to talk to her to figure that out. Reshona says that she felt trapped in a windowless studio. And if y'all ever been to a studio before, I cannot imagine living at a studio. She said the days were blurring together because there was no window. So there's no concept of time. Days blurring together. It's just she's hearing people come in and out of the house and she used a very interesting word. She used the word trapped. And if you know of R. Kelly's catalog, that's an interesting word. Yeah. R. Kelly, when you wrote Trapped in the Closet, why you use that title? Catch. All right, anyway. Reshona tells us that eventually when she was 17, R. Kelly got her an apartment downtown. So prior to getting the apartment, she was still living with her parents technically, but she was spending a lot of time at quote unquote the studio or wherever he was. Um, R. Kelly wanted her to tell her parents her exact feelings about him, although he had confessed his love for her. Um, he wanted her to choose, to make a choice, to choose him. Tell your parents, you stand with me, you gonna be with me, you love me. And tell them like I'm going to live with Robert. And she knew that they would crush her parents. Um, I don't know, y'all. Once again, she called this man's breath hot in this scene. R. Kelly, R. Kelly, what is going on? Y'all, I fell out when that lady said he sighed and blew his hot breath. I said, Jesus. Reshona said she been sick of it. Sick of it. All right. So Reshona says she doesn't exactly remember every single thing that happened between 2002 and 2008, basically the time period of the trial. She has blocked out a lot of things, um, and that some things in her memory are out of order. What she does, however, know is that she had lost her grip on reality, and she even questioned and wondered if God remembered her name at that point. And when she said that, I felt something through my chest. She agreed to move into the downtown Chicago apartment with R. Kelly. Well, it was really her apartment. Um, and she notes that she had no friends in this time. Her only friend was Robert. You know, she's taken out of homeschool. I'm sorry, she's taken out of high school. She's now homeschooled. She couldn't hang out with a lot of her family, and all that. So all she had was him, which I believe was designed. She was homeschooled, and um, her parents or teachers, like teachers in their family, initially they were, approved to go over the lessons with her and be her teachers. But by the time she quote unquote moved out, R. Kelly had approved certain numbers that she could call or text to help if she needed help with a homework assignment, and if they went off topic during the text or they started talking about something else during the text or a call, he would punish her physically. Um, Most of his abuse towards her was to make her feel insecure. She said he would pit the women against one another, the women in his orbit, the women and girls, I'm going to say, allegedly, against one another and make them mentally compete to be his number one girl, although he was telling her that she was his number one girl. He would send them to shop and run errands for him. And he had another girl to which she calls Alyssa. I'm like, who is Alyssa, girl? Tell us her real name. I want to know. Is she one of the girls that was on the Surviving series? Huh. She said that Alyssa told her that Robert cried in her lap about Reshona, wondering if he ruined her. One thing about the way that this man manipulates, he uses enough truth to mix in with the lies to make it sound believable. And it's really disgusting. Um, So Rashona ends up confiding in this young lady about R. Kelly and about their relationship, about how he was so controlling and things of that nature. And the girl was like, listen, I can't see that because he been, hey besties, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button. The girl was like, I really can't see that because the way he cried on my lap about you, I think he really loved you. And Rashona's like, you came into this scenario as a grown woman. By the time I turned 18, I had already been with Robert for 5 years. Whew. That, I mean, heart wrenching. Um, and the other young lady, when Rashona would tell her just kind of like some of the things that they had gone through, that he had done to her, she'd be like, oh, he know who to play with because he'd never do that to me. I'd never let that happen. And Rashona like, girl, you won't let it happen because he ain't in your head. You're an adult. So Andrea Kelly ends up leaving R. Kelly at this time. And when she left, he allegedly gets meaner to Rashona. She notes that R. Kelly, this was the part, y'all, for me. She notes that R. Kelly would give her handwritten letters. And that's not funny. That's not funny. He would give her handwritten letters. Sometimes he would write them himself or have, I believe it was his engineer. I can't remember who it was, but someone on his team that he really trusted to write the letters for him. And she would know if he wrote the handwritten letter, because if he wrote it, the letters were very big and in all caps because he had problems with spelling and writing. So it's not that he flat out can't write, I guess. He just only reads and writes, in my opinion, at like a kindergarten level. Like y'all know how when kids are little and they have to trace out the letters on the words, and it's like you start with capital letters. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm visualizing when she's saying this. Um, so he wrote her a letter stating that he was fighting for his life in court and that he needed to have sex with other women, um, and to keep them around him to stimulate his creativity, because the music industry was now changing and very competitive, and he needed to stay on top. Wow, wow, wow. This is all very interesting to me. So, y'all, if I'm calculating right, I believe, now I could be wrong, this was round about that ignition time. Okay. All right. So she tells us about how he had her comparing her very teenage body to those of grown women. Imagine that. But I think we do that all the time. And it's so damaging, right? Like we compare our natural bodies to the surgery bodies. But imagine doing that as a teen. She said that he never talked to her about how he had started having. Okay, so she talks about Aaliyah again here, because y'all know Aaliyah is gonna be the star of the show. Anytime one of the girls is talking about they exchanging with Robert, Aaliyah is gonna come up. She said that he never talked to her about how he had started having sexual encounters with Aaliyah at 13. Did y'all hear that? Allegedly. 13. The same age as Reshona. Had started allegedly having encounters with this girl at 13. We knew that they had secretly got married at 15, when she was 15. I think he was like 29 or something. But 13, y'all, is when it allegedly started. And I could not believe that. Aaliyah went through so much. She said they rarely talked about that, but instead, he said that he believed her uncle, Barry Hankerson, blamed him for her death, and that Barry was a bad manager and stole money from him. I need to know more about that, and I feel like Reshona, I wish you would have wanted to a little bit more detail, girl. I know you said some things are a little hazy, but how was he to blame for her death and they weren't together anymore or weren't seeing each other anymore? How was he to blame? Or was he saying like he felt like Robert were responsible, like if Aaliyah and Barry didn't have a close relationship anymore and she died like that? I just need to know I need some more tea on that, girl. I don't want to call it tea, more information, because I did do a slow blink when I heard that. Reshona spoke about the trial and how Robert and his team were getting ready to lie and ooh, blame it all on his brother Kerry. I remember that. He said that Kerry was one of the bad guys, and Kerry and Robert do look alike. All them Kelly boys, all three of them look alike. And he allowed his team, his legal team, to sit up there and say that's not even Robert, that's Kerry. Just anything to get him off. He didn't care who it hurt. He didn't care who it damaged. The team didn't care. Just whatever it took to get him off. The only truth that mattered was the ones that made Robert a hero, she says. She said that his song Butterfly on the Love Letter album was for her. And I'm like, okay, well, did he take that song off the album? Because I don't remember no song called Butterfly on the Love Letter album. And then when I said that, I went and looked it up. I'm like, I don't see no song called Butterfly. So did they scrape the song from the album, or is it called something else? Is it on a different album? Let me YouTube real quick, because y'all hold on. I just want to be right, because I ain't seen no song called Butterfly. Not saying it don't exist. Okay, Butterfly, R. Kelly. Okay, so in 2008, okay, 17 years ago, a song called, so they just took it off Apple Music. Huh. Let me listen to a little bit of y'all. Hold on. I'm finna play it with y'all. Let's see here. We only gonna listen to a little bit. Okay, let's get Reshona and them off the screen, amen. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, share screen, Butterfly, R. Kelly. All right, so let's speed this up, because I don't need R. Kelly people hitting me up for no what's the name, copyright infringement. Okay, let's hear. Turn it up. And the only reason why I'm playing this is because this is not his channel, so he's not gonna get nothing off of it.
There's no such thing as pain when I'm with you.
Bad Robert, I'm not gonna keep listening to this. I can't. I can't. First line, I'm done. I'm done. Y'all, that's sick. Y'all, that's sick. She also says, that on the song Stepping in the Name of Love, for which her father is playing, at the end when he said Greg Landfair and them, that song Stepping in the Name of Love, she said the line, and if they ask us why we did it for love, was about their relationship too. She said some of these lyrics he wrote while being intimate with her. So let me ask y'all this, and y'all could tell me down below. I don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. I am from Chicago, Illinois. This is the R. Kelly city, okay? And I used to really be an R. Kelly fan. My kindergarten graduation, preschool graduation, like a bunch of graduation songs was R. Kelly songs. I can remember R. Kelly songs playing pivotal parts in different points in my life, whether it's the world's greatest at a graduation, or I believe I can fly at a graduation, like, or Step in the Name of Love, or I wish when somebody passed. I don't listen to his music anymore. And I understand that some people are able to continue to listen to music. But for me, once I found out that he's actually writing these songs about these teenagers, I was kind of done. I was done. Now, I'm not the type that if it plays and I'm somewhere that I'm gonna like leave. I don't feel the need to do that, but I'm not gonna support. That's how I feel. How do y'all feel about listening to his music? When I watched Surviving R. Kelly, I think it was part 2 or something, I don't remember. But that young lady, I know she was Hispanic, and she was talking about the fact that he wrote the song You Are Not Alone that Michael Jackson sang for her. I was disgusted. Hello, Marcellus. You came just at the end, but yeah, it's I'm disgusted. And I got 2 more hours of this book, y'all. I don't know how I'm finna make it through 2 more hours. 2 more hours of this book. Oh, wait. She does mention, I ain't tell y'all this. She mentions Lisa Van Allen. Okay, I got actually you're not at the end. My notes are all jumbled. Okay, so let's go back into it. So, oh, you didn't. Okay, I did. Yeah, I did. And once I'm done with the book, because I got a little bit more to tell y'all about today. Um, once I'm done with reviewing this book, I'm gonna talk to y'all about the people that I know, um, and how this all impacted them and me. And I pray that I can interview Reshona, because I feel like people are asking the same questions, and I have more questions for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. And they enabled him. Okay, so listen. So she tells us that Robert made her stop talking to her mother for over a year, y'all. The Landfairs went to one of R. Kelly's parties, and I'm like, what? So the mom and dad went to one of his parties, but the thinking behind going to this party is so that Greg Landfair could sneak off and speak to his daughter and check on her in person. So they went to one of his parties, and R. Kelly gets upset because he says that Valerie, the mom, was disrespectful to him because she was looking at him some type of way because he had all the women around her. Now, imagine you, he done ruined their whole family to be with her, but you got women all around you in this house that you know we're at. And of course, her mama trying to buck up against them. So he said that she was very disrespectful to him, and therefore Reshona by proxy for being upset with him for disrespecting her. This man who cannot even read was just playing so many mind games. I can't. So the Landfairs were completely dependent on R. Kelly financially. They needed money for him for the mortgage, for Lil Greg's tuition, and keeping Valerie's shoe store open because that was her income. Robert would complain to Reshona about them needing more money. Like, I can't believe these people need more money. And she like, Daddy, didn't you? Which I can't even with the daddy thing. Didn't like, isn't that what you said you would do? And he like, you need to be on my side, like bucking up against her. He was angry that he had to come out of pocket for their well-being, though that's what he said he would do. And then let me play this clip for y'all. Hopefully y'all can hear it. Hold on. Let me go back to it. Y'all know how I am about these clips, honey. So just give me a second. Okay, clip and notes. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can hear. They pray on the weak. It is so sad. It is really sad. Okay. And I was just talking about that, actually, talking about the fact that many of his victims are girls who had dreams of stardom. He knew that, and he plucked the stars right out of their eyes. It's so disgusting. All right, here we go.
I'll be frank. My parents had financial issues. Unfortunately, Robert knew this, and he was able to exploit them because of it. I know that many people have aired their opinions about my parents' decisions and have accused them of selling me out. Well, hindsight is 2020, and I can agree that my parents didn't always make the right decisions. I can say with confidence that they didn't see me as their cash cow without a care about what happened to me.
Okay, so there's y'all answer, because people have been asking for decades, like, or accusing them of selling their daughter out. I don't think they sold their daughter. I think they felt like they were in between a rock and a hard place. With the fact being that by the time they found out about Robert and Reshona was 17, which is the legal age of consent. Now, this is what I wish would have happened. That day that R. Kelly went into that elevator or went into that meeting with Greg Landfair and told that man to his face that he was in love with Reshona, I feel like although Greg understood that he would not win this fight, R. Kelly got legal teams and everything behind him. I feel like he shouldn't have walked out of that room. R. Kelly shouldn't have been able to walk out of that room and into that elevator hole. Is how I'm gonna say that. I feel like it would have just been great to say, "My daddy went down trying. My daddy went down trying." Um, and I know that they were trying their best because Reshona was on the other hand telling them, like, "That's not me in the tape." Um, telling them, if y'all don't let me see him, I'm gonna unalive myself. All these things, they were trying to prevent those things, which I understand. They couldn't, they were between the rock and the hard place because they had no bearings to say, no, you can't do it. But I wish they didn't almost permit it. And that's, I'm saying almost because they were like, yeah, go ahead and see our daughter. But they were at that point knowledgeable. I don't know. I don't know what they could have done, y'all. And people be talking about how they sold their child. I don't think they willingly sold their daughter according to her story. According to her story, it sounds like they were really trying to protect her and they really went about it the wrong way. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Her parents at the time thought that every musical path to success in Chicago was brought to you by R. Kelly, and he was too big of a giant to be taken down. And they were fully just operating in fear. One night, R. Kelly treated her to a midnight breakfast in his Hummer. Okay, hold on, let me see this. If she felt like her parents sold her, she would have said it. Exactly. She expressly said she don't feel like they sold her, but everybody feels that way. And they have said that over the years. Like, she is fully aware of everybody's opinions, fully aware of everybody's thoughts, all these internet think pieces. Imagine living in that bubble and looking at all of what the people have been saying about you for the better part of 20 years. Wow. Okay, can we still listen to his music? I really liked his music. Okay, right before you came on, that's what I talked about. So she said that he wrote a song called Butterfly about her on the Love Letter album, which is so interesting because that song, I can't remember, it ends at I'm Forever Indebted, and that song is literally about Drea. So I feel like he's writing that Love Letter album is letters to all of his victims, I feel. Can we listen? I think it's personal. I no longer wish to listen to his music. I used to go hard. Like, I could still listen to his music, especially after they prosecuted him. I'm like, that's what we were saying we weren't listening for so he could get prosecuted. But at this point, I'm cool off listening to his music, especially knowing when I watched Surviving R. Kelly that one of the young ladies was definitely a teenager and had lost their love child. I'm telling you, he didn't say the words, this is to my victims. But when these ladies are talking about this song is for me, this song is for me, I'm like, oh my God. These because I don't think he views them as victims because he's a sociopath. It's really insane. But one of the young ladies who was Hispanic, and she had I think she had lost their love child. And he wrote the song, You Are Not Alone, that Michael Jackson song, about them. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm cool off R. Kelly. I'm from Chicago. R. Kelly music still plays here. There are very key moments in my life where R. Kelly music was the song. Singing I Believe I Could Fly at kindergarten graduation, singing I'm the World's Greatest at preschool graduation, things like that, like Step in the Name of Love at was it's just several of his songs that have to do with key moments in my life. And it was hard for me to let them go. At the same time, I feel that is sick. I don't want to keep listening. I don't listen. I haven't myself listened to no R. Kelly song in quite a while, like years. Except if I'm out and a song comes on. If I'm out and a song comes on, it's what it is. Like I'm not gonna leave or anything like that. But I'm not going to personally, um, like go out of my way to listen to his music. No, thank you. So, okay. One night, R. Kelly treated her to a midnight breakfast in his Hummer. He tells her that he thinks she deserves some fun. So he's going to send her, her mom, and two cousins to Miami for a week. And of course, this sounds nice, but whenever he does something quote unquote nice, there's always a motive. And what the motive was for this is that his trial was coming up. So she ends up seeing a dog while walking by a pet store. She falls in love with the dog. His name is Buddy. Well, she asked Robert because she bought a dog and they named him Buddy. He became her emotional support animal. Eventually, Buddy does run away. Well, because how exactly are you going to raise a dog and you live in a studio, not a studio apartment, in the studio, like a no windows, a studio? Like, where's the dog gonna run and play and all that? Exactly. So anyway, we get into the trial. When Robert's trial started, his lawyer says, "Where's the victim? Why isn't she here?" In like his opening statement. And the fact was that she was there. She was in the parking lot on his tour bus. Robert would let her follow the trial or watch any of his interviews. And the reason why he ain't let her do it, because he didn't want to sway her opinion of him. What she did know is which family members would be testifying that it was her on the tape and which ones would be Team Valerie or her mama trying to defend her quote unquote honor. She said everyone in the courtroom had seen the 26-minute tape of her face being peed on. Y'all didn't know he peed on her face. Y'all, I ain't never seen this. Of her face being peed on and him giving her champagne upon champagne upon champagne, asking her explicit questions. Robert's lawyer asked her childhood friend how could she identify her um, private part in the video, right? That's painting a picture that she's loose. He called her a sweet girl and also said she was a teen having dirty, nasty, raunchy sex. I just don't understand why her first and last name were used and her face and private parts were not blurred in this trial. Was that not distributing child porn? In court, they did not blur her face and they called her Jane Doe in the media, but they referred to her in the trial. It's just so sick. She wonders if she weren't black or brown, as she calls herself, would it have been shown? Would she have been protected? You can literally hear the tears in her voice as she's saying this. Like you could hear how she's affected by this. Okay. The people never care about victim. Absolutely not. It was about winning a case. His team claimed that it wasn't her. They also claimed that it wasn't him. And also that she wasn't underage. So if it wasn't her and it wasn't him, how y'all know she wasn't underage? Exactly. I brought that up earlier at the beginning of the live, Marcellus. Exactly. So she also talks about Geronda Pace, who I mentioned to y'all met R. Kelly at the trial the day that he was acquitted. She also mentions Lisa Van Allen, who I mentioned to you guys last week or the first time. I can't remember if it was my first or second live. She also testified against him during the trial. She was 17 when she and the then 14-year-old Reshona had a threesome with Robert. Robert told Reshona that Lisa was one of the bad people that had betrayed him because she had stolen the tape. Rashona says Lisa was always trying to get into her business, so she steered clear of her. Robert says that Lisa had bad motives, but Rashona says she doesn't know what Lisa's motives were, but that today she believes that Lisa was brave. If y'all know, you know. Lisa is the one who got the tape. And I think she went and got the tape because I have to go back and watch one of the interviews. We'll talk about that once I'm done recapping the book. But I believe she got the tape because she found out how old Reshona was when they made the tape and she was sickened by it. You can literally see to her face to this day when she tells the story that she is sickened by it. So Rashona lets us know that she prayed that he would get off. And when the verdict came in, he called her on the phone. He was crying and excited that he was found not guilty. So that is where we're going to leave today. I got about 2 more hours to watch of this crazy story. It's not a story, it's her life. And I can only pray for her continued healing and wholeness. I hope she's okay because she's a mother now. Yeah, I hope she's okay. So y'all let me know when y'all watch the replay down in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Number one, do y'all think it's appropriate to continue to listen to his music? Do you still listen to his music? Let me know. I would love to know. And number two, we know what Reshona says about her parents. Do y'all think Reshona's parents sold her out? Y'all let me know. All right. Thank y'all for watching. I will be back. We got about 2 more parts. So let's see. Valentine's Day is this weekend, so I ain't coming back for that. But let's see, when can I come back? Sunday. Let's reconvene to watch more or listen to more of this crazy, crazy story. Yeah, I wonder who inspired that one. Now, think about that. And I love me some R. Kelly music. Do y'all know how I hurt? Like how hard it was for me to not listen to R. Kelly and be from Chicago. And I got so much to tell y'all. I got so much to tell y'all when we wrap this book up. So again, if y'all haven't watched my vlogs, I have 2 vlogs that have come out. Y'all know I do lifestyle content as well. And I wonder what book we're going to read together after this one. I don't know, but I really like dissecting this with you guys. So we'll see what content we come up with next. Bell Collective is coming out. Not sure if I should review it. Y'all let me know. Anyway, I love y'all. Have a wonderful rest of y'all evening. Talk to y'all later. Bye.